So it's January 4th. As I stated in a previous video, I have a new client for the new year, got a new schedule, more hours, and my pay got bumped, and I'm very appreciative. Tuesday was my first day with this client. She showed me a list of things she had that she needed me to do every day and every week or so often. I found some hazards in her home. I assisted with making sure some specific things were definitely taken care of, like prioritized that very day. As well as I pretty much just got straight to work and did things that had been left undone by previous workers as well as herself, because she's able to do things, but she has some light restrictions due to her health, which is very understandable. But these are ongoing problems that was allowed by you. And even when I tried to assist, you were like, no, that's okay. And then I figured out it was a deeper problem, which is why I'm glad I went above and beyond in the first place. Yesterday, on Wednesday, January 3rd, she had a doctor's appointment. And not only did I make sure she was seen for what she was supposed to be seen for, but I made sure she got additional health checks because of this issue that was in her home. As well as I got some other appointments scheduled for her to make sure that she didn't have any additional issues that may have not been able to be checked by this specific doctor. I got her some referrals and some other appointments set. I'm not reimbursed for mileage, gas, and my car is a rental through Flex Car. So yeah, like I'm paying mileage, gas. Also, I had forgotten that I had a nail in my tire. I've been waiting since Monday for roadside assistance to come and help me change my tire or give me a new tire or repair it or something. Nobody ever came. So this morning, I got there 30 minutes early. I took that time to make sure I let them know, like, hey, like, I am still riding on this damaged tire. Y'all need to come out and, do something about it, because it's been days and you all still haven't shown up or assigned anybody to me. So they immediately assigned somebody. But yesterday, while I was driving, she did complain about my driving or whatever, and I forgot that there was an issue with my tire, because I had already filled it up with air before I came home the previous day. So I mean, I didn't really think anything of it, but she sent me home early, and I kind of didn't understand why. Why she was like, she stopped responding to me when I asked her questions. She just, she just kind of gave me the cold shoulder and had kind of like an attitude. I didn't understand why. I thought, like, okay, well, maybe she's upset about me driving or whatever. And at this time, it still had not dawned on me I might need to call them back about my tire, because it wasn't a significant issue for me at the time. It didn't pop into my head. But what it turned out to be is that I had forgotten about this list she had shown me the previous day. She didn't attempt to remind me about this list and the things she wanted done. And I was late getting there that morning because there was a mattress in the road on my way from my child's daycare, as well as there was an accident when I was like 5 minutes away from our house. There was an accident. I had to wait on that. So I got there maybe like 40 minutes late. And she was trying to basically like make it seem like I was going to make her miss her appointment. And I said, well, we can still make it. It says we're only 30 minutes away from the doctor. I can still get you there on time. Oh, well, this and that. And you just coming up with excuses. And I was like, well, I can go and get the wheelchair out the basement right now, which I don't understand why her family put a wheelchair in the basement. And then she got upset because I got a rag to clean it off. And she's like, oh, well, you can throw that rag away. It's a kitchen rag, and, this and just being mean and unappreciative, because, I mean, there's a lot of mold growing in that house, especially probably in the basement, as well as just a lot of clutter, and a lot of things that you're not able to clean because she doesn't want her stuff moved. Okay, cool. I have to respect you as an adult and as a homeowner and as my client. I can't do anything you don't allow me to do, even if you're not physically stopping me. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. So yeah, and everybody's a little picky about their food and things like that, which is understandable. So I'm not going to complain about those things. But she was also letting me know all these reports she made on people and all this kind of stuff. She has a camera everywhere in her house, which again is not a problem for me as long as there's not one in the bathroom. However, there's not a toilet seat. You know you have a healthcare worker, you know you only have one bathroom. I think there should be an accommodation for toilet seats. Even though you have your portable thing you have to put on top of it, I think that there should be something there. But again, didn't complain about it. Wasn't going to. I was just gonna, do my job. So, yeah, I completely forgot about even my first day there. Her washer washes really long. So I stayed late, past my scheduled time. And I didn't even ask my boss if I could stay late. But because I did show up a little late that day, I did stay late I'm sorry, this was the previous day. But I did also arrive the first day late as well. Just because I wasn't used to the schedule, getting up that early to be there. So I was a little late the first day as well, but I did stay late, to make sure that the washer stopped. So I didn't just leave clothes in there to mildew. And I told her, I said, okay, I'm going to stay, make sure the washer stops, and then I'm going to put those in the dryer and I'm going to leave and I'll get them out when I come back tomorrow. I just forgot about them. I'm a human. I forgot about the clothes that were in the dryer yesterday. She did not mention it to me, but she remembered it, but she didn't mention it until today. And just basically her entire list. Mind you, when we came from the appointment, I asked her, I said, did you eat breakfast before we leave? Because again, she can cook for herself, but she needs help doing it because she, has some health issues, which makes it a little harder for her to do it. But yeah, she can do it. So I wasn't sure if she had eaten before I had arrived to take her to the doctor or what. My boss called me saying, hey, did you forget about an appointment? I told her what was going on, the matches in the road, the accident on the highway. And I said, hey, I'm just 5 minutes away. I'll be there in a minute. So, after the appointment, I had gotten her these additional checkups and all this kind of stuff. Things that I probably am not required nor probably even allowed to tell her doctor things without her permission, but I felt like it might have been a health hazard. So I wanted to make sure she was okay. So we stayed at the doctor a little late. We got back. I got her out the car, drove her down the hill in her wheelchair to her porch. She got in the house. I was unaware that she had an accident because she didn't tell me. I had to move the car because I have to park the car certain ways to get her down into her driveway and down the hill so that I don't have to, it just made it easier. So I moved the car after I got her to her porch, and she's able to get up out of the wheelchair and walk into the house. So after I parked the car, I bring the wheelchair inside. She left her bag on the porch. I brought her bag back inside. I go to her room and I ask her, I said, did you eat breakfast or whatever? She said, I didn't do anything before I left. I said, okay. Do you want me to make you anything to eat? She's like, oh, I'm freezing. I'm just trying to get warm. So I sat there, I waited on her to get on her. Do you want me to make you breakfast? Is there anything you need? She's just not responding to me anymore at that point. After she said, I'm cold, I just want to get warm. She didn't tell me she had an accident. She didn't tell me that her clothes were dirty in the bathroom. She didn't say anything. And again, I forgot about the laundry. I forgot about the list. Like the laundry I had left in the dryer the day before. I just simply forgot. She remembered these things. She did not remind me. She knew she had a list on the refrigerator. Again, my first day was just the previous day. So she didn't, and most clients don't have that. So I just didn't remember that she had this list of things. I wasn't aware that if there was anything in the kitchen that needed to be, it didn't look like anything was in the sink or anything. So I never really made it into the kitchen. After she just stopped responding to me asking her questions, I just went and sat down in the living room. I was looking at my phone. I hadn't eaten dinner or breakfast just because I've been so exhausted. So I had a Lunchable, and I had eaten the Lunchable. She wasn't asking. She has a bell that rings throughout her house if she needs help. She also has an intercom via Alexa. She has a bunch of Alexas throughout her house, as well as in her basement, all of that. And I was, like I said, I was just in the next room, so she could have called my name. But again, I didn't even notice she thought I had fell asleep while I was sitting there, which I did not. At one point, I was on my phone, and then at one point, I just sat there like this for about maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know, because I think I left around 11:30. I think we had gotten back to the house around 11 o'clock. So, yeah, I was just sitting there. I was probably like this or something. And I was just probably staring. Like, I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't, because I'm not used to, well, I don't enjoy not being occupied. Even with my previous client, if we were just sitting there, even if there was things to be done, if she didn't want me to do anything, she just wanted me to sit and talk with her, we would just sit and talk together. Or she would already have the TV on, but I never like came in and turned on the TV or anything like that. So, and a lot of times I would just be like, oh, well, what do you need me to do? And she would say, no, just sit down. Or she would tell me what she needed me to do. But I'm not used to having a list, which was not a problem for me. I just simply forgot about the list. But this morning, I had a nail in my tire, which I've had since Monday. Nobody ever came to change my tire after I called AAA or whatever. And so I arrived this morning, even though I had a nail in my tire, arrived 30 minutes early, around 6:30 a.m., and I sat outside because I didn't want to deal with her attitude, because I just felt like something was off. Because even when she sent me home yesterday, she sent me a text message. Mind you, I'm just in the next room. She didn't say my name or anything. So she texted me. She said, go home and get you some sleep. So on my way out the door yesterday, I asked her, before I even put on my coat or anything, I asked her again, do you need anything before I leave? Or, da da da. Again, she's ignoring me. So I send her a text message while I'm standing in her living. I don't know if I was standing by her bedroom or in her living room, but they're right next to each other. But I sent her a text. I said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And I went ahead and left. And I said, okay, I'm locking your bottom lock. And I walked out the door. I leave. Cool. Today, I come straight in. Like, I didn't come in at the 6:30. I sat in my car because, I just felt like her attitude had been off anyway. But I sat in my car until at 7 when I'm supposed to clock in. During the time I was sitting outside, I was contacting them like, hey, I'm trying to change my tire, but I don't know how to use the jack that y'all put in the car. But you all have not sent anybody since Monday. I've been waiting for somebody. I mean, I was at work when I called y'all on Monday with my previous client. And y'all just left me hanging. And I had my child with me because I'd already picked up my child. I went to visit my previous client to let her know it would be my last day with her and I would have to have a new client. Which she already knew. My boss had called her. But, we built a relationship. So, I wanted to see her, as well as the first was also my daughter's birthday. So she had also built a relationship with my daughter, like a grandmother-granddaughter relationship, So we just went to visit her, and I was out there and just waiting at her house. So eventually I was like, I just have to get some air in my tire and go. So I just kind of, I kind of forgot about it. I think I filled up the air maybe one more time, and I kept contacting them. They said they hadn't assigned anybody to me. So, it is what it is. But that's what I did prior to 7 a.m. I tried to figure that out. So maybe around 7:40, they texted me. They called me and told me they were outside while I was making her breakfast. She claims that I just stayed outside the whole day getting my tire changed, like as if I had done nothing in the house. Mind you, she has cameras. She's good for sending videos, but she's probably not going to send any video of me doing anything in the house. Because she had said, oh, you were outside all day getting your tire changed. It took less than 10 minutes. I literally he called me at 7:38. And at 7:52, after I had gotten back in the house and got my jacket off, I sent him a text message just saying thank you. At 7:52, so about 10 minutes, At 7:38, I didn't even go straight out because I was still finishing her breakfast. I said, I'll be out in a minute. I took her breakfast to her, and I washed the dishes really quick. And once I was going outside, I let her know I was going outside. Now, mind you, I forgot to take her syrup for her pancake. She didn't say, hey, go get the syrup. Mind you, it's not like her kitchen isn't like clear like most people's kitchen. It's cluttered. It's things blocking cabinets. And so her syrup isn't just like on the counter or in a cabinet near the stove, or it's like a cabinet all the way across her kitchen and the stuff piled up in front of it. And I was walking around like, what am I forgetting? I couldn't think for the life of me what I had forgotten. So I just started doing the dishes. And I almost forgot the guy was outside waiting to change my tire. So I hurried up and threw on my jacket, and I said, oh, I'm going outside so the guy can change my tire. She said, oh, I was about to ask you who's outside. There's a man outside. Well, I'm glad that you thought to ask me. You didn't ask me, but also, why would I, on a typical situation, why would you assume that I know who the person is, you know? Um, but yeah, either way it goes, it was for me. So, I didn't even debate that. I was like, yeah, I called somebody to fix my tire, whatever. Also, I would like to note that that morning, like she has these two TVs in front of her driveway, and her neighbor parks kind of in front of her house as well. So it makes it hard for me to park because I'm not supposed to take the TVs out to a dump or whatever, and your family has come and moved things around your house. So why can't they dump these TVs? Because I let her know, like her driveway, you can't get out of it when you pull it. It's very hard and you can possibly damage your car. So I prefer to park in front of the house. And the past 2 days, I haven't seen this neighbor's truck. But I told her this morning, because I was assuming it was a family member's truck. I said, it's a little hard to park between the TVs and the truck without being too close to either one or hitting one, She was like, oh, well, you just need to park across the street. I don't know anybody in this neighborhood. I don't know what the situation might be. I don't know if your neighbor's cool with me parking in front of their house across the street. So I told her, she was like, well, yeah, you just need to park across. I said, I'm not going to do that. She's like, oh, so you're not going to do that. This is when I first came in this morning. But still, I jumped right to it. I go, hey, you want your breakfast? I made her breakfast, so on and so forth. I cleaned her cup again, gave her some fresh lemon water like she likes. And, after I got my tire changed, after I made her breakfast and stuff and washed the dishes, got my tire changed. So it probably took less than 10 minutes. But that's when he called me at 7:38. And I was back in with my jacket off by 7:52. But she made it seem to my boss, when I called my boss before I left, that I had just been outside the whole morning. But no, when I came in, I immediately went back to the kitchen. And because, mind you, the sink is right next to the refrigerator. The list is on the refrigerator. So I remembered the list this time. So I go back in and I look at the list. And I'm trying to remember everything on the list. But then I have to go back before I even walk out the kitchen. Go back and look at the list one more time. I said, okay, well, the duster's over here. So let me find the duster, because she just has everything just everywhere. So I found the duster and I started dusting everything. I dust everything, I inspect, double check, or whatever, so on and so forth. I opened the basement because I thought I heard something. And so I listened and I was like, is the dryer going or something? And I'm listening and I'm like, no, that's the heat. And I think to myself, oh my goodness, I forgot about the clothes I left in the dryer. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to finish dusting, sweeping everything. I'm going to go down there and get that, so on and so forth. And I also, like that day that I had left late, before, even after I put the clothes in the dryer, I folded the other clothes and I put them in her laundry basket. She didn't tell me where to put anything. So I told her, I said, I'm going to just sit this laundry basket here and, we'll go from there tomorrow. Again, when I got back from the doctor, she didn't remind me of any of this. She just apparently was holding all this stuff in. And it's understandable. If I had been working with you for a long time, I should already have all this stuff down packed, and everything should be done on schedule. Everything should be done before I leave, or as much as possible, and nothing should be left half done, like the clothes in the bin, or like the clothes in the dryer. And again, that's understandable if I've been working with you and I know your schedule, so on and so forth. Or even like maybe say after my first week. And this isn't like a regular job where you're just doing the same thing over and over, because these are different people, different clients. They have different things, different homes, different types of home, and different, everything. So, I don't know where to put all of her things. And she didn't tell me. But I told her I would handle it when I came back the next day. Also, the next day I had forgotten, because the first thing we did was go to the doctor. We were at the doctor for several hours. And, things slipped my mind. And she wasn't responding to me when I was asking her if she needed anything. So it wasn't coming to me, But this morning I got in, I got straight to work. You know, it is what it is. After I got my tire changed, I dusted everything. I dusted her TV, I dusted her lamps, I dusted everything on the wall, I dusted some of her clutter. Cool. So I had started sweeping. I had already swept the kitchen. Now coming from the hallway into the living room, and I'm halfway through the living room sweeping. She says my name very quietly, but I'm like, yes. She doesn't respond. So I walk all the way to the bedroom. I say, yes. So the first thing she mentions is not that I forgot the pancake syrup. That's not the first thing she mentions. She just starts going on about the list. Oh, well, you know, I have this list and it has to be done in the order on the list. You don't just jump around and do whatever. I was like, oh, okay. And then she's like, she starts mentioning like, and yesterday I had an accident on myself and I got pissy clothes here in the bathroom and I couldn't even put them in the laundry basket because you never took clothes out the laundry basket. And I said, okay. I said, all you have to do is communicate with me. I said, I'm willing to do what you need me to do. Just communicate with me. I said, I forgot about the clothes in the laundry basket. She's like, and you never got the other clothes I dryer. I don't leave nothing in my dryer. Da 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 da. I said, okay, I forgot. All you have to do is communicate with me and da 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 da. You know, whatever. And she's like, and I'm not fussing at you and this and this and that and da 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 da. I said, ma'am, you can talk to me respectfully, and I don't have a problem doing anything you need me to do. But I will not be disrespected. And yesterday you sat on the couch and you went to sleep. I said, no, ma'am, I did not go to sleep. I said, I ate my Lunchable and I stayed on my phone for a little while because you stopped responding to me. No, I told you to make me breakfast yesterday. I said, no, you did not. I asked you if you were hungry and you said you were just cold. You wanted to yeah, this and this and that. And you only asked me one time. I said, I asked you twice. You did not respond. And no, because by the time I got under my cover and I turned around to talk to you, you were gone because I'm not going to stay at your door and keep asking you questions over and over for you to ignore me. And I didn't say that, but my initial response, I said yes because I had asked you several times and you weren't responding. So I just went and said that. And you went to sleep. I said, man, what you're not going to do, you're not going to lie. I said, you know what? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it looked like that on your camera, but I did not go to sleep. Yes, you did. Da, 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 da. I said, as soon as you text me, I look at my phone immediately because I kept checking my phone just because I didn't have anything to do. I said, I did forget about the list. I did forget about the laundry, but all you had to do was remind me. She's like, and you didn't even bring me any pancakes, sir. I said, why didn't you say anything? Because I don't have to say anything. I said, so I'm not going to be disrespected. Well, would you give your child a pancake with no syrup? I said, she's 2 and she's a child. So yes, I would give her pancake without syrup because she's a child. And then she was like, oh, what, you know, whatever. And she said something else to me. And I was like, you know what, ma'am, you want to continue to be disrespectful. I'm too helpful. I'm too nice. I'm not going to take this. I'm going to finish sweeping your living room floor and then I'm going to go home. And you going to get the clothes out there? I said, no, ma'am. I'll come back when you're in a better mood and I'll do whatever you need me to do. But right now, I'm just going to finish sweeping and then I'm going to, well, if you're not going to get the clothes out the dryer, you can leave now. I said, no problem. I went and got my jacket, my phone, and I was going to just go to my car. But I was like, before I walk out, let me call my boss and let her know what's going on. Mind you, I had already texted my boss about her having an attitude because I wouldn't park across the street. And my boss says she understands. And also, they already know that this is a very difficult client. She cannot keep a healthcare worker. So, yeah. My whole thing is, I called my boss to explain to her what was going on. And I explained in detail, yes, I forgot this. Yes, I forgot this. Yeah, and she didn't remind me. And I understand that she might be frustrated about it, but all she has to do is communicate with me. Just like she wanted to have this conversation. I was in agreement with her at first, but at some point I just kept telling her, all you have to do is communicate with me. You don't have to fuss at me, da 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 da. And she comes in behind me. Like I was talking to my boss for a few minutes and I'm letting her know, I said, but I'm not coming back. I can't deal with her attitude because I just started working with her. I've only been with her for a couple of days. Maybe she does have to remind me the first time or two. I'm not used to this client. Our clients are different. She's like, did you tell her you said you're not going to take the clothes out the dryer? I said, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I haven't gotten to that because it's not the first. I'm not going to jump to what you want me to tell her. You can call her on your own time and send her the camera. So the lady starts coming up behind me and stuff. So I try to walk out the door and close the door behind me. She is still following me outside. Don't you slam my door and tell her this. I go to my car and I pull off. Because you're trying to be confrontational. You want to treat somebody like a slave, like I'm not a human being, like $13 an hour is a lot. I don't get paid mileage. I don't get paid for gas, for taking you nowhere. And of course, I don't expect it for going to and from work. But for taking you to the doctor, running nobody's errands, I don't even request that kind of stuff. I don't even ask about it. My previous client used to try to pay me, and most of the time I'd be like, nah, unless she asked me to come on my off day and she needs a lot to be done. On top of that, I was already paying for a lot of stuff out of my own pocket, due to she might forget to give me the money, or she might forget to give me her card, or she doesn't have it, you know. So I don't mind going out the way for my clients. I have no problem. And the other client, she actually called me back and apologized because the previous day she, left out a lot of information when she asked me to do something for her. And I called my boss to see if the new worker could do it. And I was unaware that this worker had already done some things for her, and she simply forgot this one thing. So she thought I was trying to get the girl in trouble. And I had told my boss like this. I said, she's prideful. So sometimes if you don't let her pay you, she probably will be afraid to ask, you know. So that's what I assumed it was. But she called me back with an attitude. She's not like as if I can't do nothing right. And all I'm trying to do is help. But if you had already told me that, I would have just waited until I had the free time, and I would have went and picked up what you needed me to pick up out of my own pocket and brought it to you. But I wasn't aware that this person had a car. I wasn't aware that this person had already took you around errands, you know. So she called me back yesterday apologizing for her behavior. And she was like, and, I can't expect from you expect from them what you gave me, because you went above and beyond. You did a lot of stuff for me you weren't supposed to do. And I appreciate her for giving me the call later on after the fact. But yeah, and at the end of the day, because I am that great of a person. And I even talked to my boss about some issues that the new healthcare worker had. And I said, some of that is laziness. I said, she's not a difficult client. She has difficult moments. She is not overall a difficult client, but I believe that may be laziness on their part, because this client will make as much easy for you as possible. Now, this new client, on the other hand, no. I told her straight, I said, but this was only my second day when she had already sent me home, like after the doctor, but she was just being difficult just about little things, you know? And my whole thing is, like, I told the guy who was changing my tire, and honestly, I could have just let him change it and left my trunk open for him to put the tire back, you know? I told him, I said, I just need a minute to stand outside. Like, is it okay if I stand out here with you? And he was telling me about his mom. His mom does stuff like this, and she wants to open a facility and stuff. And I said, I might need to go work there, because some of these people are just ungrateful. At the end of the day, I am paid to come here and help you, but you are not allowed to treat me any kind of way, because I done had jobs that are easier for $18 an hour, and I was making over $1,000 a week. I've had jobs like I told him, I said, but this is my dream job, and some of these people are ruining it for me. Do you understand how many years I have been trying to become a healthcare worker, and it might be like, oh, well, no, we need people with the car. Oh, well, no, well, you have a criminal background, which I had to get a lot of stuff off my background that didn't belong to me, because it's 5 other women within a 5-year age range with the same name as me. And I thought my name was unique, at least my first name. But for someone to have that name, that first name and my last name, is weird, because my name is spelled Jazzlyn. I did not know that name was so common. It's 5 other people in the state with my same first and last name. And I think 1 or 2 of them have the same initial. Like, I am still receiving documents about alimony, and I've never been married. I'm like, the girl with my name is supposed to be paying her husband alimony. I'm still getting divorce paperwork. Like, and this is in the same city as me. I'm getting storage bills from a couple hours away, and then I had charges from somebody a couple more hours away, But I've really been trying to get into this field for a long time, and they're just ruining it. They are just ruining it for me, because I really love helping people, and they just don't appreciate me. It's not like I'm a lazy person, but if I don't have anything to do, I might go sit down. I'm not going to stand up and just walk around your house or hover over you. It's your bedroom. That's your personal space. It's not even no space for me to sit whenever I wanted to, and I'm not going to come and sit on your bed. So It's really barely any place to sit at all. But I just sat on, I made space on one of the couches. I just, because, you know, I sat down. I did not close my eyes. Like, my eyes were probably low. And she said, because I have two phones. So one phone was probably on the table. And I probably had one in my hand. And I'm probably looking down at it. And my other hand is probably like under my chin like this. And she probably thought I did go to sleep. So I did tell her, I said, maybe it looked that way on camera. No, you did go to sleep. What you're not going to do is sit here and lie on me. You're not going to sit here and lie on me and disrespect me and yell at me. And all you have to do is communicate. If I forgot something, tell me. And I don't mind going back to fix it. I'm not going to go back and forth with you, though. I'm not going to let you mistreat me. I'm too kind and I'm too nice, but I'm only human. It's not like I've been here working with you for 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months and I should already know what's going on. No, I simply forgot after taking you to the doctor on my second day. Mind you, the first day went very well in my opinion because I kind of dealt with her attitude. No matter how many niggas I got caught. Mind you, she's a black woman, but you just can't go around calling everybody a nigga. Even you just calling your grandkids a nigga was out of the box for me. But it's a lot of behavior is just unnecessary. And just because you're old, you can't treat people any kind of way. Just because you have an employee working in your home doesn't mean you get to treat them any kind of way. I don't care if you were paying me directly out your own pocket. Honestly, if she would have been paying me out her own pocket, I probably wouldn't have went back this morning. And the crazy part about it was the whole morning I was wondering, because my boss did say, like, as soon as I had left yesterday, because I called her and I said, well, I don't know what's going on. She seems like she has an attitude. I didn't do anything, not as far as I know. And what it was is she thought I had she thought I had fallen asleep, which I didn't. I just didn't have anything to do, or so I thought. I forgot about the list. I forgot about the clothes in the dryer in the basement. And she didn't think to remind me. I mean, again, it's not, it was only my second day. And I had simply forgotten what I had started the previous day. I had forgotten about the list. But it's not like I left wet clothes in her dryer, because even when I went to get her wheelchair before we went to the doctor, I went and got her wheelchair out the basement. And I made sure I started the dryer again just to make sure nothing was in her dryer damp. Even though I had put it in the dryer the day before, I started the dryer again before we went to the doctor. Now, at some point, she could have said, are you going to get the clothes out the dryer? But she thought I fell asleep, so she thought to text me to go home and go to sleep. If you thought I was asleep, why wouldn't you call me over the intercom or ring your bell that rings throughout the house? Something loud. I told her, I said, you didn't even attempt to call my name. And you could have, if you thought I was going to respond to a text saying go home and go to sleep, why wouldn't you text me, hey, you left clothes in the dryer downstairs? Or, hey, do you remember I left a list on the refrigerator? And it's just that simple. I'm a human. It was my second day. I forgot. All she had to do was remind me, hey, you forgot clothes in the dryer. Hey, I need you to empty the laundry basket and put my clothes away that were left in the laundry basket. It is not like her house is clean and clear and it would just be something visible, like, oh, it's something in that basket. No. If your house is like extremely clean, it's hard for me to even think in that environment. That's why I was just like discombobulated, trying to remember that I even forgot to serve this morning. You know what I mean? It's just a communication issue. Now, does she have a right to be upset? To some extent, yes. But does she have to approach me respectfully? Also, yes. If I simply say I forgot, why didn't you remind me? Because she was already coming at me with an attitude. So that's why I was like, why didn't you just remind me? Well, I don't have to. I don't have to say nothing. Well, a closed mouth don't get fed. I'm sorry, I didn't say that to her, but closed mouth don't get fed. At that point in the conversation, I was done. I don't have to say nothing. I don't have to tell you. I told her, I said, I'm not going to read your mind. I'm not, like, I don't just know what you want from me. You know, whatever it is. Because at first she was like, okay, I want the list done in this order, that order. Because I was already doing a list when she brought this conversation up. So, and then I'm in the middle of sweeping the living room. It's not like I was sitting there. She can watch her camera, which is why she hurried up and flipped over when I came to her room, because she was watching her camera and she saw me coming to her room. So she hurried up and flipped over because she was trying to secretly watch her camera. I don't care about you secretly because I'm not doing anything wrong. Like I told my boss yesterday, if she calls you and say that anything happened, just call me and talk to me about it. Because had my boss called me, because she did call my boss, but I guess she hung up as soon as my boss answered the phone. So she didn't discuss anything with her. So when I called her back, when I got home, I said, okay, so you said she was calling you when I called you. So did she say anything happened? And she, like I said, she had already told me about all these reports she had made against other workers and stuff like that. And she even told me about a worker she really loved that really just, the only issue she had is that she tied things in multiple knots because she was an African. I guess that's how she did things at her home. I don't see an issue with that. Things are clean. Like, you're mad because she tied a bag in knots. Like, I don't understand why. I mean, that probably will irritate you, but that's not a reason to get rid of her. So I don't know if that's what really happened, if that's why she got rid of her or whatever, but that was a complaint. So I'm trying to figure out, like, you seem to like this lady, and she, from what you're telling me, she didn't seem to have a problem with you. So I'm trying to figure out where this one at. That's the only one you're not really talking negative about besides the knots she tied in bags, the way she tied her knots. But you're just a difficult person. At that point, you're just, because you seem like you really liked that person. Now, some of the other stuff she told me was very understandable. Theft, so on and so forth. And you have cameras everywhere. Cool. Perfect. This way. I mean, but at the same time, if you say I didn't do something and I did do it, you have access to that footage and you can lie and say I didn't do anything in your house that day. And therefore you don't have footage of me not doing anything. You right? I don't have a way to defend myself because I don't have access to that footage. Just the only thing about it. But if you say I did do something, then I'm pretty sure my boss, like, you've sent videos of other people doing something. So you say, I'm sure if you accuse me of actually doing something that I wasn't supposed to do, you could send that footage over. But if you say, oh, well, she didn't do anything today, then you can just send whatever footage in your house is already cluttered and you can't find anything. So that's why it was easy for me to forget, just because it's not things that were just like out in the open and. But this morning I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and you made a deal about what order I did things and some very minor things, and you just tried to blow it up to be way bigger than it was, and you even lied on me. And I tried to be civil and say, hey, all you have to do is communicate with me. I didn't go to sleep. I understand it may look like that on camera, but I didn't. I did forget about the list. I did forget about this, and I apologize. All you have to do is tell me, and then you just want to go off like, oh, and would you give your kid pancake no syrup? I mean, you asked the wrong person the wrong question because, yeah, absolutely. My 2-year-old is not getting no syrup because she don't need no more energy. I'm sorry, baby. And she acted like she was offended by me saying, yeah, I would. But when I say, okay, why didn't you say, because I don't have to. Well, I'm not here to read your mind. All you have to do is communicate with me. As long as you respect me, I'll respect you. The moment you told me I can leave right now, no problem. I'm not even going to hesitate. Like, oh, please don't get me fired. I don't want to be nowhere I'm not wanted or appreciated because I am too hard of a worker. I am too hard of a worker anywhere I go. I do everything to the best of my ability. I don't intentionally have to do nothing. Now, in this situation, I did have to do some things, and for that I can truly apologize. But I would not apologize for not letting you approach me the way you want to about it, because you have to approach me respectfully and say, hey, you forgot this, you didn't do that, whatever. And then I can accept responsibility. But I will not accept responsibility for your nasty attitude. That's what I will not accept. I will not accept disrespect and blatant lies on me. Even when I say maybe it looked like that on camera, but that's not the case. we can move past it. Okay, well, maybe you did. Maybe it did look like that on camera, but you still didn't do that. Okay, and I said I agree, and I will go and do those things. I will make sure I do it, and from now on, I know to do it in that order. Period. It's simple. I'm an easy person to work with, but as any human, I might make mistakes, and it is rightful for you to be upset if I'm paid to do a job and I don't do it properly. But you still have to approach me with respect, at least the first time. At least the first time. That's it.